Well, hello there, everybody. This is Mike Lemming with Mike's Country Vinyl. And this week we have a special program for you. I'm going to show you all the albums that I have had autographed. Now, some of these albums I didn't personally have autographed. I happened to buy collections and they just happened to be in that collection. So a few things, I did not meet that person to get their autographs, but I just happened to buy a collection and just wanted to show you everything that I have. I have quite a few. I'm going to try not to get too involved on the descriptions of them and everything, but I'll give you a little input on how I got some of them autographed. But anyway, just want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please hit like, hit the bell, and please subscribe, because we'd love to have you subscribing to our channel. Of course, if you hit that bell and hit subscribe, of course, you get notified when we have a new video. So anyway, the first thing I want to start off with is an album that I got signed the last time that I saw Ray Price. Of course, Ray Price passed away in 2013, and he very gracious. The last time I seen him was at the Crystal Palace, Buck Owens Crystal Palace in Bakersfield, California. He signed about 10 things for me, and this is one of them. This is his first album, and he always signed Best Wishes, Ray Price. He always just had fantastic penmanship. You can see that right there. His penmanship was just amazing. But anyway, that's just his first album, the album that came out in 1957. Ray Price Sings Heart Songs. And you know what? I'll go into some of my Ray Price stuff. What's quite ironic about this album, back then they would release the albums, but a lot of times there wouldn't be singles on them. And so this is an album without a single. So it's Ray Price Sings Heart Songs. And that's right there. The next one I have is one that I bought I actually bought this, I can't remember where it was, if it was a thrift store or whatever, but this is Walking in Loveland, Eddie Arnold, and as you can see, it's signed to someone, and Eddie Arnold signed it in 1969. And this album come out, and usually they'll have a date on there, but probably somewhere around that area. It's 1968, 1969. So anyway, bought this for $1 and autographed. Next one was from a guy that I know, and I really thought he was going to go big. He came out with this album, I think it was 1989 is when it was. Great album, Scott McQuaig. And of course, I still in Facebook friends with Scott. He still lives in Meridian, Mississippi. But this is a heck of an album. I love this album. This right here is a promo copy. I'm trying to think where I got this at. But anyway, it's a promo copy, and it's signed to me. But anyway, great guy too. Great singer. And he's still singing in and around Meridian, Mississippi. The next one I have, now this is not a country album, but it's a group called First Fire. And when I had a record store, I had a record store in Ridgecrest, California, and these guys came in. They appeared locally. They had one of their members, not one of these guys pictured, but one of their members, the drummer, was from Ridgecrest. But anyway, these guys played a concert. Put on a heck of a concert, and this is my first group to have an in-store appearance in my store. Really a bunch of great guys. Most of them, I think, from Colorado. But I bought, believe it or not, I found another copy of this. It's sort of a country rock type album. Has a country feel to it. But anyway, First Fire, and you can see there it's all signed by First Fire. And here's another one. This is sort of a risque cover. You just have to know this guy, Mafe Nutter. He lives in Bakersfield. And Mafe used to travel with the Buck Owens Road Show. And he also appeared as a semi-regular on the Waltons. But anyway, this is Mafe. And as you can see, Stay Happy. And it's got a little bit of a risque cover called Going Skinny Dipping. And I should have been more prepared for this. I'll put that aside here. Here's another one here. Hal Southern. He wrote the song Hillbilly Heaven, and of course that was a hit for Tex Ritter, but this is signed. Again, I did not get this signed in person, but Mr. Hillbilly Heaven is what they called him, and he's the one that wrote Hillbilly Heaven. Actually, wrote it. Him and Eddie Dean co-wrote that song. Anyway, that's Hal Southern. And here's one by Billy Mize. The last time I seen Billy was at his birthday at the Crystal Palace in Bakersfield, and just so happened that the guy, a special guest, showed up by the name of Merle Haggard. But anyway, I had Billy sign this. Great album too, featuring While I'm Thinking of Make It Rain. Make It Rain was actually recorded. He released it, and then Ray Price released it on an album called You Wouldn't Know Love, and Dean Martin did a version of it too. But this is a good song. He does a song called "Well, You Done Me Wrong," which is a song that George Jones and Ray Price wrote. Games People Play. Actually, pretty good album. And there's like a couple, 3 songs that he wrote. Ben Peters wrote one. Jerry Hubbard, who happens to be Jerry Reed, wrote another one. So anyway, it's a signed album right there from Billy Mize. And speaking of Eddie Dean back there, we were talking about Hillbilly Heaven. Here's Eddie Dean. And what's really ironic about this is it's signed by members of his group, but it's also signed by Tex Williams right up there. And on the back, Smokey Rogers signed it. I can't read the other one. And then Eddie Dean signed it right back here. But anyway, this come out of a collection that I bought, and it so happens to be in there, and it was signed. So pretty cool, huh? On Shasta Records out of Sylmar. Eddie Dean. Here's another one that I did not have signed in person. It just so happens it's a collection out of a collection that I bought. And here's Sammy Smith, Help Me Make It Through the Night. And that's right there. There's Sammy. What's really ironic about this is this album was released in 2 versions. It was released as Help Me Make It Through the Night, and is also released, I think, as When Michael Calls, right up here. So I'll see if I think I have a copy of that. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Formerly titled He's Everywhere. So it was released as He's Everywhere. That song happens to be on this album. And of course, the liner notes are written by Chris Christopherson. And Eddie Rabbitt did some liner notes too. But anyway, here's Sammy Smith. Really nice handwriting too. And here's our buddy Red Simpson. Now he signed this for a gentleman, and he said, "I hope you like this record. If not, have a drink and it'll sound better." That's typical Red. Red Simpson right there. Funny. Hope you like this record. If not, have a drink and it'll sound better. Okay, here's one. Tony Booth. I like this guy's music. He sounds a lot. His stuff sounds a lot like Ray Price, 4/4 shuffle beat. He used to be basically in the house band. Actually, lead the house band at the Palomino, and of course, and then he moved up to Bakersfield and did a lot of touring with Buck Owens. But this has a lot of good stuff on it. Lonesome 77203, which is a hit for Tony, and there's also a hit for Lonesome, not T. Texas Tyler, but not Cowboy Copas. What was the other? Hawkshaw Hawkins. And he did Buck Owens' Second Fiddle, Maybe If I Close My Eyes, Buck Owens, Close Up the Honky Tonks, Red Simpson. Congratulations, You're Absolutely Right. That was written by Buck Owens, Don Rich, Red Simpson, and a bunch of other stuff, mainly Buck Owens stuff. But anyway, that's signed. He signed that for me at he was appearing at a little bar, actually a little club in Bakersfield, which since has closed down. And it happened to be his birthday too. So anyway, Tony Booth. Here we go. Here's Stephen Stills of Manassas, which is not a country record, but it's a country rock record. And I happened to book Chris Hillman and Herb Peterson, and I had Chris sign this album for me right there. So that's pretty cool. And this is not all of them, but it's some of the ones I have. Judy Lynn. I didn't have this. I didn't meet her in person. She had some chart success, but she mainly played in Las Vegas. She had a residency there. But I'm looking on the back of this, of all the people that played on this album. Jim Gordon, who a lot of people, he used to be like the drummer, and unfortunately, a very tragic story where he mixed drugs and they had some mental issues, and eventually got put away. Al Blaine on drums, Ronnie Tutt, Joe Osborne, Carol Kay, Larry Knechtel, Larry Carlton, Dean Parks, Al Casey, J.D. Maness was pedal steel. See if there's anybody here. Sid Sharp. So man, what a lineup here. But anyway, Judy Lynn, and she signed that. It's right there. It's to Pat and Dorothy, whoever they are, but it was made out to them. Then I've got another one. This is Randy Travis, and he wrote "Thanks for liking my music." And there's Randy Travis right there. I bought this collection. Here's another one. The Little J Dickens Presents the Country Boys, which happens to be his band. So all of these guys signed them. I think Little Jimmy Dickens, he signed this one too? Yeah, Jimmy Dickens is there. So it had all the band members signed that. Here's another one, a collection I bought that just happened to have a whoever he had says, "Lisa, you be good, Buddy Allen." You can see that he signed it on the back. Of course, if you don't know who Buddy Allen is, he's the son of Buck Owens and Bonnie Owens. So, and Buddy Allen Owens. I met him once. Nice guy. Didn't have him sign that because I never had that. And here's one, Rusty Warren, and she's a comedian, sort of a risque gal, but anyway, this is To Joni Love Rusty Warren. And that's just I just have the cover. I bought a collection that had that in there. Okay, here's one, Buck Owens, Susan Ray, The Great White Horse. And here again, I bought this collection, and it's made out to the gentleman. He actually used to work at KUZZ, but anyway, Susan, she has beautiful handwriting too. And then, of course, Buck Owens right there. And here's a guy that I really love his singing, and I tell you what, I want to say something here. I know that Bette Midler had a big hit with a song called "Wind Beneath My Wings," but this guy recorded it first and had got a CMA award for it. He kills every version I've ever heard, "Wind Beneath My Wings." And anyway, I booked him for a concert in Ridgecrest. There's his signature. I got him to sign. I think I got him to sign some CDs too. That is his signature right there. But he lives in Colorado now. Here's another group called the Coasters, and this was actually signed 1/27/05. So anyway, I bought a collection, and it's included here. The record's pretty well trashed, but it got him to sign right there. That's the Coasters. And here's another guy the first concert that I ever promoted was by this guy. And I have some stuff signed by him. I actually have a picture signed by him. Never got any records signed by him. But anyway, to Jewel, best wishes, Ernest Tubb. And you can see that right there. Ernest Tubb's Golden Favorites. Ernest Tubb. Right there. And you know what's really ironic? It has a little sticker on there that says Ernest Tubb Record Shop. Pretty cool. Next one is an album called Gospel Cannonball. What had happened back in the day, Maranatha Records come out and with a series of gospel country stuff, and that was way before Christian country. But anyway, this is produced by Al Perkins, and a good friend of mine happened to be on this album, Steve Hill. He signed this for me. He's one of the singers on here, and he also was a co-writer for most of Desert Rose Band's hits. Him and Chris Hillman are extremely good friends, and Steve co-wrote a lot of those songs they did. There's that right there. And of course, I'll be showing a few of these. Here's Marty. It's one of his first albums. It's signature right there. This is a promo. And this is the album, I think his first album, I did it on Columbia. He had a little bit of input there because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny Cash was on that label at one time. Well, he was on the label when Marty did this. But this, it's got a ton of great players on it. But anyway, we'll talk about this album later on. But anyway, that's Marty there. And I did get that in person. One of the first albums or first piece of memorabilia I got signed by anybody was this guy. Let me take this out of here. So I've had this album forever. It's a great album too. Rex Allen Jr. right there. And he signed right there. Of course, this is before Sharpies, so he signed that. It's still there. But I got him to sign it. He was appearing at a club called JD's in Ridgecrest. And he signed this for me. Nice guy. Good album too. Another Goodbye song. I'm trying to think what he had. He had another Goodbye song. He had another song called Goodbye. Actually, I think Goodbye came out first, and then they pitched him a song, another Goodbye song. He didn't particularly care for it, so he decided to record it and wound up to be a hit. And here's one of the nicest guys. This guy, and talented Mo Pitney. And we'll go over this. There'll be some. I'm going to include him some in the next one of the next videos. But nice guy, great album, and there's Mo Pitney, right there. Met him in Bakersfield. Had him sign that. One of the best guitar players around, and a character, member of Marty Stewart's Fabulous Superlatives. There's Kenny Vaughan, and this album is kick butt album. It's on Sugar Hill Records, but it's got all the superlatives, of course, but got a lot of good songs. Good album. Kenny Vaughan right there. Next one we got, again, I did not have this signed personally by her, but it was made out to somebody else. And there's Barbara Mandrell right there in her comments, to whoever she made it out to. Barbara Mandrell. Here's one. Dale Morris, who was an excellent fiddler. He from I think from Texas, and played with Marty Robbins, Win Stewart, Mel Street, Sammy Smith, Dale Morris. And there again, I bought this collection, and it's right there. That's Dale Morris there. And this one right here is not signed by, this actually belonged to my late mother. And she loved Bob Wills and Texas Playboys, and she loved Leroy Parnell. and she knew that Leroy Parnell was a big Bob Wills fan. But anyway, she went to his concert, went to Leroy Parnell's concert, and had him sign that right there. Leroy Parnell signed that album. Okay, and here's another Down Home Praise that was produced by Al Perkins, and had Steve Hill, Chris Hillman, Jerry Scheff, David Mansfield, Bernie Ledden, of course, formerly of the Eagles. Al Perkins played dobro. So Steve sang on this, and there again, my good friend Steve Hill, right there. He signed that for me. One of these days, I should have got Chris Hillman to sign this, but I didn't. And hopefully, one of these days, I'll meet Al Perkins and get him to sign it. All right, and these next few, I don't know if you remember a group called the Burrito Brothers, not the Flying Burrito Brothers, but the Burrito Brothers. They were remnants of the Flying Burrito Brothers. This actually included Sneaky Pete Kleino, Gib Gilbo, Skip Batten, and John Beelan, who I happened to meet. And John signed this for me. I happen to know his son Chris, who performs here on the Central Coast an awful lot. Very talented guy. So anyway, John signed that one. John was also a member of another band. John Beelan was Swamp Water, right there. And you can see he signed it for me right there. So, having him open this album up, I just tore a piece of the shrink off so he could sign it. And here's another one of the Burrito Brothers. Sign that. At this time, it had come down to where it was just John and Gib in this group here. But anyway, you see John signed it right there. And here's another one. And there again, I just took the shrink. I guess I did take shrink off this, and this has never been played. Anyway, this is an album. John Edward Beelan. That was his first album. Is actually, I think originally this is recorded for Apple Records, and they wound up leasing the masters to Skepta Records. I think that's the story. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that is. But there again, I mean, there were some pretty decent players on here. And then Sean Morton Downey Jr. wrote the liner notes on this. So anyway, there again, he signed it right there. Like I said, this is not everything that I have. I have probably 20 things signed by Ray Price, but I just want to bring in a few. Here's the Sally Hillman Fury Band, another country rock group. And good album, actually. Very good album. And Chris signed it right there. He doesn't get too fancy with his signing. It's the CH right there. And then we have Marty Stewart. It's Way Out West. This is the last album that they put out. And I got that signed in Bakersfield. This was produced by Mike Campbell. And if Mike Campbell doesn't ring a bell, he was the guitar player for Tom Petty. And he also toured with Fleetwood Mac, sort of taking Lindsey Buckingham's place. Anyway, I got him signed right there. And another one here. This is Saturday Night, Sunday Morning. This is a honky tonker on one album and a gospel album on the other. And he's got Mavis Staples, who I just seen opening. Actually, she opened up for Bonnie Raitt about a month or so ago. I seen them. But anyway, great album. Got Tommy Emmanuel on it. Very good album. And there's Marte. And the last ones I got here, I happened to catch this lady. She was at a Merle Haggard's Boxcar Festival, where they brought in his old home. That was an Oildale boxcar that his dad took and made it into a home for the family. Anyway, she happened to be there, and I knew she was going to be there, so I'm very, I'm very aware, of people's privacy, entertainers' privacy, but I asked a friend of mine, I said, hey, is there any way that you can get this lady to sign some albums for me, because I had quite a few, and she's very gracious. And it just so happens that that's Susan Ray, LA International Airport, Pity Pity Patter. Of course, she toured with Buck Owens for a number of years. Got a lot of good songs on this. Very pretty lady. She's still very, very attractive lady. I told her that. I said, I said, most everybody my age had a big crush on you. And she said, oh, that's so kind. Here's another one, One Night Stand. She signed it right there. Now then she signed this one on the back. And then it's right here. She signed this one here. And she signed this one right here. But anyway, very gracious, just a very nice lady. I understand she no longer lives in Bakersfield, but anyway, just a very, very nice lady. Anyway, that's what we have for this video. So hope you enjoyed it. And remember, please make any comments. Make sure you like us and make sure you subscribe. That helps us out a lot, and we'll be back probably here in the next week or so with another video. So anyway, hey, thanks a lot. God bless. We'll see you later.